And I have maybe I have to go a little bit earlier, maybe 8:45, 9 o'clock my time.
Okay, thank you for letting us know. So let's go into the logistics before we dive deeper. So the intention of this introduction is to go for 2 hours, and I hear that you're going to be probably leaving a bit earlier than that, Christina.
Maybe. So if I get a call, I have to go. So, because of work.
Okay. Right. Yeah, otherwise it's really the invitation to just announce when you need to go to the toilet, for example. Just you do what you need to do and check what's really happening in you, and then just say it. Like, if you need to open the door or something happens, you just announce it. So not writing it, really using your voice and tell us what you're up to. Like, share with us what you're up to. And then there are no rules in this space apart from one agreement that really matters to me and that you would need to respect, which is do not hurt yourself or anybody else. Do you agree? And that means physically hurting yourself or anybody else, including your equipment. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. And in terms of tools, it will be handy as usual to have your tissues, a raging towel, like a hand towel, and or a bucket or some sort of container. So if you don't have that yet, please go and get it so that you can be totally relaxed.
About the recording of this video, there's one other woman that has already paid towards the recording and she will watch it. Julia and I have not talked about making it public. And if we do, then we will ask for your permission to do that.
I have no other logistics. Anybody else? No? Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I have one logistics. Is that I've been sitting a lot today. So if I stand up, that'll be why I'm stretching my knees.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, so we're closing the logistics space. And that was that. Thank you. You have the next piece, Annika.
I do. I was walking around today thinking about my first steps towards Rage Club Spaceholder training, and at the time I wanted to be a Rage Club Spaceholder. That's all I knew. And fast forward, I'm sitting in this space now because in that time it was really clear to me that I wanted to encourage other women in particular to hold space. And what I want to say with that is that you have the space holder inside of you already because you're sitting here, and also you're already the space holder for other space holders that are yet to come, so that the culture that you want to create and that is deep inside that you're longing for can thrive with all the other space holders. And so yeah, it's an introduction to my small journey of becoming a Rage Club space, or stepping into the Rage Club Spaceholder lineage and becoming so much more. And what's really dear to me is the space around that I'm not just a space holder for Rage Club space holders, and therefore this training here is not a Rage Club Spaceholder training, and yet it's informed by pieces that come out of that training because it brings so much clarity. And it's also informed by the journey that Julia and I have taken with many other women this summer of how to collaborate together as women, how to give each other wind in the sails to unfold our necks and also to create the spaces that we want to. And so in some ways, this is Spaceholder training for anything that wants to unfold in you and anything that is going to unfold in the future in Aki-Aki, in this next culture.
What's become really clear for me in preparation for this space, also through conversations with Annika, is women are already space holders. Like, you are already space holders, whether you have declared it a formal space or not. You could start to notice how often you're actually holding space, be it for someone else to speak, be it for something in your community to happen, be it for your children if you have children, be it for your partner if you have a partner, be it for your friends. Like, as women, we're naturally space holders, and this training is designed to help you see who you are as a space holder and to bring more consciousness to that, so that you can unfold this natural ability of yours into a conscious offering also, which can feed you back. Which feeds you back. And I'm not just talking financially, also in terms of energetically. And it matters to me that women claim that also, that we claim, hey, this is actually, I'm actually holding space, and I'm turned on to hold space, and that's why I'm going to do it, even though my box freaks out and has an adventure about, I can't do that. Like, okay, thank you, box. And there will be, this 12 weeks training that starts on the 18th of June will like, the purpose of it is that you can get to that place where you cannot do it without you being totally swept away, so that you can actually go through the liquid state necessary so that you can do something more than you could before, so that your shape actually changes. And what has helped me tremendously in the last 6-7 months, where I was living with Annika for most of the part, and other women that are in the context of possibility management, in the context of radical responsibility, and with this clear commitment to sisterhood, is that these steps you don't have to take alone. But there is a comfort in my box also to go, oh, well, I'll just do that alone. Then at least I can figure it out on my own. It won't look too messy. It won't be maybe, shameful or like embarrassing. I'll be safe. And in a way, we don't have time to waste for that. But that's not even the thing. It's like, it's so much more fun. The kind of magic that unfolded for me already even in the last few days, where women were witnessing me holding space for a conversation with a man, and they would go afterwards. Okay, so we're not quite in real time in that moment, but they would come with possibilities afterwards, and then I would go and implement them. And I got profile photos for my website done in exchange for a man using my car, because this woman told me, what, are you really wanting a coffee in exchange? But that's what she offered, and that's what I accepted with my good girl box. And then I said, no, actually not. And she said, do you know he's a photographer? I said, no, I did not know that. And he's like, okay. So I went and renegotiated. So this is now in an everyday life example, holding space for my life. And it goes beyond that in groups, where you can really also be by each other's team, where we can be by each other's team, finding the next step, finding out what blocks you wear, so that can transform and will move as a wave without enmeshing. It's like particles in a wave. Particles make the wave. It's drops in the ocean make the ocean, in a way.
Yeah, and this journey of being a space holder, using this label, doesn't stop. So like for me, and I'm sure I can speak for you, Julia, as well. It's like the space holder identity keeps on dying. It keeps on, like, the layers keep on coming off, and it's like, oh, I thought I was this, and I still got somewhere to go, and I still got somewhere to learn. And so rather than like thinking there's this place that you get to, and then we teach you these skills in this training that then you get to somewhere that then you can deliver, becoming a researcher instead, an experimenter with where you are in your life, with your context of people, with what comes through you, and your own evolution in what wants to come through. And that just doesn't stop. And then it's exciting, and then it's like an ongoing like project that doesn't stop, that keeps unfolding, and you will hold space for spaces that you never thought you would hold space for, because you cannot know right now what's to unfold in the future if you keep on being curious about the space holder inside of you and letting this identity die. And one of the blockages that I found around that is that I do sometimes then attach myself to the space holder, and then I need to undo that. I need to take away my resentments that I have with that, or I need to talk with some people and admit something, or I'm still giving my center away to people that have more matrix, or that are the space holders that I think that I should be, that I'm talking like, or undoing the ways I'm talking, because I am talking like other people, because I'm copying them, thinking that this is the way to go. So it's, yeah, and this makes it fun. I mean, it's painful in the process of going through the eye of a needle again, and it's also fun to keep unfolding that, and then to let yourself be surprised, to stay in the unknown. And one of the beautiful things that I find in being with a woman on the team is that you will not know right now what might unfold with the woman in the space together, that you are having a piece from your space and they have their space, and who knows whether they merge or a new space comes alive, etc., etc. So this is what I'm excited about holding space for this and for you women to go through, or yeah, seeing what beautiful petals will open up from these flowers.
Do you have something to say, Christina? It looks like it.
Yes, I more to say. First, I feel a little bit sad because I see the option to translate your workshop in German so that more women can be in this team. So I feel sad because it's just only English speaker women actually, and with the time difference, maybe here are some German speaker women who would like to join and does not speak English. And yeah, I feel sad about it. And I see that there can be more. And I feel joy about this. And I feel fear to say the next, because I don't have the right words actually. I'm holding space, and I'm holding space one-to-one or for groups. And I wish more context or possibilities to be with my fear, at, on my working station. So it's so hard for me to say, okay, and I'm here, I'm not your playing partner, game, yes. And to say, okay, stop here. I have to say something too, not only you. And he's so much bigger than me. He's bigger this part, and he's bigger and higher. And I feel so much fear there. And I wish, like, okay, how does it go for me to hold space there for me and yes, and for the space to create there, because I love my work there, a new culture, step by step, just with being me. And to bring more women's energy in this space. And another part what I would like to research when I start with you this journey is to research my fear to be with other women. My fear, oh, what will they say after this? Will they talk with other people about me, bad about me, or something else? So I would like to research the trust, the connection, not being against each other, to be with each other and to hold space for this. That's why I am here.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Christina. And thank you for bringing this aspect of the underworld into the space as well. This is something that we'll be touching on in all the places where it comes up in the 3 months journey. so that the collaboration can happen, so that the creation can happen, so that the compass can point towards thriving. And for that, there's no question about going through a process as such. And it might happen in the first session. I don't know that yet.
Yes, and so you start to spoke, and so this comes up. Yesterday evening, I did not know. Yes, I will be there, and I don't know. And so I'm thankful that this comes up. Yes, to feel the fear, to realize that there is so much fear and sadness and anger and joy. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so immediately something comes up, and I'm going to say it because it's here. And I noticed, Christina, when you speak, you have so much presence, and you have a way of taking yourself back, like you're going backwards energetically, and that's already a hint for your workplace situation, because it sounds like you're looking with your physical eyes. He is so much bigger. You're fucking big, Christina. You are energetically huge when you choose to be. Yeah, so I would invite you to play with that. So to start consciously, when you feel this fear, consciously use it for sensing, how big does my space need to be right now? How big do I want to be? And then you use your anger to really energetically. Have you ever experimented with that?
Yes, and I'm actually I'm at the child decontamination 1.5 years, and it's like I'm on a point where it's a big break actually, the next big break, and it's like exactly that what you say. So to go one step more, and there I am actually. So thank you, and your words touched me. Yes.
I'm also aware that there are some emotional blockages that can get in our way, and they're real. They feel real from the inside, and they have served us well as a survival strategy as women. Yeah, to not get our heads chopped off yet again in another lifetime, for example, or not to get burnt again at the stakes for being visible, or in this lifetime to not get smacked in the face yet again. Yeah, and so we develop these strategies. Most women have, like many women have developed the strategy of hiding, of going ever so slightly energetically backwards. And others might have chosen the strategy of being really upfront. And both is an expression of the same. It's like, who are you really, and what do you stand for? And that matters to me, that can be there. Anything else would be just creating yet another fake show. And I've done that. That's why I know about it. It's like trying to be someone, trying to be a spaceholder like you should be. Yeah, it's like, okay, when I became a lawyer, this is what a lawyer looks like. Okay, that's what I become. And then when I become an ETB trainer, okay, this is what an ETB trainer looks like. Okay, now I feel more in my heart, but still trying to fit a shape. And the arcane jobs, they've only started to be invented, and yours is an arcane job if you invent it, because it does not exist yet. And that doesn't mean you have to, you can't be an ETB trainer or a Rage Club Spaceholder, and it needs to come through you. It needs to come through your necessity, through your lineage, through what you're here for. And then from that necessity, that's actually, I found out that it's not so much where I'm going towards, it's more where do I come from. So that necessity in me of my being, your necessity of your being, where you come from when you decide to hold spaces, is the force. It's like it's the carrying force. And then the necessity emerges to change your shape, to stop playing small, to make your energetic body bigger so that you can show up fully. And that is the transformation force of deciding, like, to being a yes, to let that through, which wants to come through you, and to be a yes to holding space for that.
Yeah, I want to add that really the job, which is becoming clearer to me in the last months, it wasn't so clear at the beginning of my training, is that it's really like how can I get out of my own way so that the force can come through. So by Julia, scanning or like giving you a possibility, what she's noticing, Christine, she like, because she's getting out of the way with whatever blockages could be there, she's able to let the information come in, whatever wants to come. And all you women have that. All you women have this instinctual ability to pick up so much stuff, like more stuff than probably you can chew through, and because of not having learned how to chew through it. Yeah. So really the job is to find ways, for example, like slowing down in the space, feeling your feelings, building a relationship with your gremlin, etc., in order for that force to come through. And that for us to be on a team together to do that, to go, hey, I noticed that somewhere this is in the way, or there's a veil in front of you. What's that? Or like, slow down, like take a moment, or what do you notice right now? And making these invitations. Yeah. So it's not like a high speed learning ground. It to me recently it's been the opposite.
And notice how there's something I'm really touched by both what you Annika and Julia are saying, and what your words really speak to is the part of me that is here and longs for bringing my unique piece. And I don't mean to be different and to stand out. It means to be in my authentic me. And I feel sad because it wasn't something that landed in me until today, that's really what I want. And that my gremlin, or another part of me, was really battling to be what everyone else was. And especially in the Spaceholder space. And I can feel my heart really feel touched, because I can feel the quality of the space, of that you're calling my unique part forward. And that's what the space feels like it's for. And yeah, I feel glad about that. I can feel my heart connect to that piece.
Thank you for bringing your heart.
Thank you. I celebrate also the space working, because Christina, you've already delivered value to the space by naming your sadness about not more German speakers here. It's opening up a possibility I did not have before to translate. So thank you. And this is really how it goes, to be on each other's team, to not hold back and bring the peace, no matter whether you know where it leads or not, just to say it anyway. So thank you.
Yeah, and in that, when you bring that, Julia, to and this is ongoing research for me, it's like this, how to create the space so that the people in the space feel like they're in the space to bring their impulses. Like how do I step out of the way as a space holder as much as possible, so that the force of the purpose of the co-creation and the working together as a wave can come through. And it's my experiment. I'm with you in this journey. And it's like so far it's not so much like in the past. I used to think that it's my anger that kills the spaces, or this like force that just like makes the space like harsh. And maybe it has, because I had blockages in the way, and the space that allows that does not leave the fierceness behind. It's quite the opposite. It's like the fierceness to take a stand for my authentic self. It's like the fierceness that I show up with all that I am, and to encourage you to do that, so that everyone else in the space has the possibility for that too.
Fiona, would you bring your voice into the space and say, let's make a sound, whichever sound is good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I just so often let others go first. And I don't want that.
What do you want?
I want to be able to feel impulses and bring them forward, and not to think that other people have got more matrix than me, and I'm kind of just sick of this kind of poor me place that I put myself in, and I want to get my head out of the way and be able to be in this space and be able to have something to say. And when other people say things sort of quite quickly, then I don't have the space somehow. I let them say, and I don't know how it will go or how it works, or but something in me just so yearns to be able to hold space for other people. Not that I want to make it a big it's just for friends and for people I'm saying hello to. I want to be able to be there for them rather than shut them off because I think I don't know how to do it. That makes me really sad, because I do that so often.
Like a story inside of yourself, Fiona, how it goes, or how to hold space?
Yeah, there's some sort of story there. Yeah.
How does it look like?
That I need to have the right words to encourage somebody to be how they are. And then I don't know what those words are.
It seems like a lot of pressure, internal pressure, comparing to the outside or some image.
Yeah, it's pressure in my head. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that would be something to work with. And I found that EHPs are definitely necessary. And that could also include a mimetic engineering, or like a brain mind machine process. And there's practice. The EHPs are just one level in a way, that again it's also about practicing something different, like consciously practicing. Another question came up of whether you have been experimenting with the voice blaster at all. Have you?
No.
I would invite you to try it out in the session. There comes a voice that says, oh, better let this woman go first, or I don't know how it goes, or what are some of the voices that shut you off?
I'm not aware of,
Yeah.
not aware of the voices, but
Okay, then maybe start checking whether there are voices. And if there are voices, you could use your voice blaster and really shoot them off in this space so that they can fall away and you can just go. Will you research that today in the session, that you check whether there are voices? Or it's like you put some of your attention of what actually happens. Are there voices, or is there an energetic block happening, or how exactly does it go? Will you be on that research for the next 1.5 hours? Or do you already know that? Like maybe do you already have information about that, how it goes?
I think that there's nothing, but maybe there isn't nothing.
Okay, cool. So then the invitation is to put some of your attention there. And I would also invite women here, when we notice that something's happening for Fiona, where she's getting stuck, that we just like put the attention there and say, what's happening? Whoever notices. Are you all in for that experiment?
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to hear a yes or no. If you have a yes or no. Yes? Okay, I'm into.
And I have this piece come, I never really put that into words before, so I like that it's coming, which is that I have found in my own evolution as a space holder that there's such people that have a general knack for holding a vacuum space and a knack for holding pressure spaces. And I would more put myself into the pressure space as a what comes through naturally. And what I've learned is, by being with other women and other space holders, is to tap into their gift of how it can go to hold the vacuum space. So to learn from them, and for them to somehow, to watch them, to witness them, to give me possibilities on like, how can I create also a vacuum space in the spaces that I hold in myself. And I'm curious for you, Fiona, what that is. If all the pressure goes away, like I have a suspicion that you're a natural vacuum space, and to research that and what that looks like when that comes through consciously and naturally, and that's actually a gift for the spaces that you are in, and then they might not require words sometimes to fill the space.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Annika, will you share what your meaning of pressure spaces? I feel intrigued. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I naturally, in my survival, I have a tendency to go fast, but also like to kill. And so this is all like my underworld goes. I kill, I shift, I run around, I fill the space with words, I say different things, I change topics, all this. And I can use all of that consciously to shift to the next space, to go a bit faster, in order to bring my energy up in the space, so that the energy doesn't die in the space while it's happening. Yeah. So all these tricks that I have in my survival, I can translate into like a bit more pressure for the space that I'm holding, to move in the space. And so that's one part. And the vacuum is something that I don't have naturally in myself. Like I'm finding now that I do, but it's been clogged up, and it's been clogged up with a spinning energetic body. And so, I'm slowing down now. And then I guess, so then vacuum for me is to have silence, to have nothing space, to connect with my feelings, and to lean into my fear and staying with the unknown. Does that answer your question, Raya?
It does. And I feel I even noticed in your sharing the difference when you were describing the pressure space, there was more speed to how you spoke. And then as soon as you started describing the vacuum space, you started slowing and there was more pause. And yeah, so thank you. I really got that even in my body.
Mm. And I'm slowly noticing this myself, and then it can happen. And I needed, and I still do, I needed a lot of feedback and coaching from women around me to get that. Slow down, feel, from a place of love, because they wanted the space to come through me, what wants to come through. But this is why I have no doubt we're all on the team together to do that with each other.
And yesterday evening, German time, there was a work talk, Woman of Earth, and it's online on YouTube. Maybe someone would like to watch it, because for me it was so inspired. And inspired because Annika, can you translate? Es war für mich inspirierend, weil letztlich habe ich selbst nur die Kraft.
It was inspiring for me because at the end it's only me who's got the power.
Etwas zu kreieren oder zu beenden oder zu verändern, transformieren.
To create something or to change something or to end something or to transform something.
Yes. And thank you, Annika. And for me, it's sometimes like my English words are like, oh, there's a vacuum in my head. So, and I feel fear. I feel fear to not use the right English words, to not fast enough to find my English words, or to don't find the words to say what's on my heart. So thank you for translation.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I heard this legend before from the Feelings Practitioner Lab, where the whole lab happens in translation, and like my energetic body that loves to speak goes, what? And everyone who shares about that spaces is like, it slows the space down so much, and it's almost like you're having two labs at the same time, especially if you really, even if you don't understand one of the languages, I think you're still picking up the energy of it. So I would love to do this here if it comes up as a possibility.
Yes, and then I hear your words and there is something, oh, Christine, it's so easy. So I know the word then when I listen to this. And to be with this and to say, okay, and nice possibility. And I would like to give you the possibility to watch this call of yesterday evening, because it was magical space.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yes, and it's inspired me to hold space on otherwise. Why? So for a woman, as a woman. And yeah, so it's for me like a touch each other space.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Will you share with me that video, Christina?
Please.
Will you share the video with me
It's on YouTube.
on YouTube?
Yes,
Can you
you
show the
can
channel?
give a possibility management in the searching line. And then it
Yep.
will there.
there's Possibility Management TV on YouTube,
Yes.
and it's the first video that's just been posted.
Okay, thank you.
Another gem you're bringing into the space, Christina. I love it.
Thank you.
I would like to go into breakout rooms. First thing. Yeah, that's a bridge that you're building, Christina, is about this being inspired to hold space. And yeah, this breakout room is about being with a partner who, and you share with them what you are inspired to hold space for without limitations. So no filters. And you'll have, I would say, 5 minutes to speak about it. It's 5 minutes each. And the woman listening, you make a vacuum space so that really the whole extent of that which the speaker is really turned on to deliver as her non-material value can pour out of her. And if you notice that you're in your mind trying to understand it, let go of that and really make it an empty space into which anything can be said, even things that she never said before. Are there any questions about this?
No.
No.
I have a question. Annika, do you want to be in that exercise?
Yes.
As a speaker?
Mhm.
And it looks like you're using your technological wand right now to
I
fill the
am.
breakout room.
I had a moment of like, will I ask her or thank you for reading the space.
Okay, then I will hop around and I will also take the time. So I'll let you know when it's time to shift to the other one. And I encourage you also to drink lots of water.
Yes.
I will drink some too.
Okay. Great. Will you write something after 5 minutes, Julia?
Yes, I will. And I will also come into the spaces. And yeah, the invitation is really also let your feelings speak. And let your feelings be there.
Yeah, and what I suggest is like one possibility is to to practice to start with, to center yourself in your heart space. So rather than going into your physical center at this point, like go into your heart space and let a figure of 8, like the lemniscate, appear in your heart so that you can land there and start speaking from that space.
A figure of 8 in
Yeah.
our heart.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you call that?
A lemniscate. Gate.
Lemniscate.
Yes. Like the
Infinity
okay.
symbol.
Infinity, yeah.
Okay, I'm opening the rooms.
Okay, have fun.
Would you start, Fiona? And the lemniscate goes like it's like you're imagining a movement of it. Like it's not necessarily your body moving. You can do that, and it's imagining that movement in your heart, like so.
And it's about,
What is your heart longing to hold space for?
my heart is longing to
Go.
hold space for friends and the family, to be able to be real with themselves and with me, to have some feelings, to share the feelings, share feelings of how they are right now. And yeah, not talk about the stuff that kind of doesn't matter.
And keep dropping down into your body.
hear. I want to be able to hear where people are and who they are right now. I'm aware that I'm jiggling my feet.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Taking away from the space in my heart.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe your feet have got something to say.
Yeah, trying to run away. Something.
Mm-hmm. What feeling is that?
No, fear.
Let that circulate across your whole body, your whole nervous system, and then your fear, like, will be with you in you speaking through your heart, because it's scary to say what it is that you really want to do. It's scary to take a stand.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm scared somehow of feelings. I don't know if it's scared of other people's feelings or scared of my own.
What spaces are you taking a stand for?
I'm taking a stand for saying my own feelings and impulses. I just want to feel, listen to my own impulses. Make enough space.
And then when you've done that, when you've held space for yourself and your own feelings, what spaces do you care about then?
Other people's, I want to sharing. Yeah.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for dropping into your heart. Will you ask me the question?
I've gone straight into my head going, what's the question?
So drop back into your heart center and find it there. Make it your question. Yeah, go.
If you're on Annika's team, for her to find out more about her space holding, what would you ask her? About her non-material value as a space holder. Yeah, that fear, let that run through your nervous system right now. You don't have to press it away. It can be here. Yeah, really lean into it. Let it be, yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
stay with us. Really keep the connection with Annika. Keep your eyes open. Lean into it. This is the fear, and just be with it. Yeah, into the nerves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that anger, put that into your bones and make the space like safe for your fear with it. Yes, that's it. Yeah, keep staying in connection. Notice you're still here. We're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, keep going. Keep in connection. Stay in connection. Notice the
Look a
pressure
little
and
in your
then go.
face. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah.
Stay in connection.
Mhm.
See your feet on the ground.
My feet aren't on the
Yeah.
ground. 'cause I'm
Buttocks on the seat is also a good start.
okay. I'm sitting on my bed.
Mm.
I want to know something about your connection, Annika.
You want to know about my connection to something specific?
Something about your connection with space holding.
Hmm.
So to make it a question or a request, I propose you say, will you please tell me about your connection to space holding? So that it's really clear. It can land in her 5 bodies as a clear request or as a question, will you tell me something about the connection to space holding?
Annika, will you tell me something about your connection to space holding?
Yes.
You speak.
It touches me when yeah, when I can see the shift in people learning to space hold. It touches me what is possible being on a team and yeah, this unfolding and seeing a different version of this being of the space holder come through. It touches me when I have a woman come to me and they're like, I want to do this. I so want to create this. I'm so turned on by this. Like I can feel this fire in myself that I had when I first started. And this, like, it's like I came to Julia and I said, I want to be a Rage Camp space holder. I know it. And then a woman come to me and they're so turned on and they're like, I want to hold space for this and I want to hold space with you. And I don't know how it goes. And this commitment, this force that comes through. It touches me when women who like this friend of mine, she's a midwife, for example, and like she's working in this modern culture environment and wants to create change. Like she's taking a stand step by step to create a different space, and I can be on her team to do that. It touches. I'm so glad that I have my anger. I'm so glad like that I know it's not a question in me anymore, that anger is the force to bring me here present in the space, to like take a stand for the spaces that I've taken a stand for and that I'm committed to. It's like there's no doubt in me anymore. It's like this anger is the force and the container to hold the space for the spaces, for the spaces, for the spaces, for the spaces. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, I still have 40 seconds though.
I can't see you. I don't like that I can't see you.
You can't see me.
No, because there's a sign in the way.
You can click it away, Fiona.
There you are.
Yeah, I'm touched by the unknown of what I'm holding spaces for. Like this, like, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm going to hold space for. And this, like, there's so much force still in me that's untapped. Like there's still unfolding to happen. And wow. like this awe and wonder of the spaces that are knocking on the door. Yeah, thank you.
And it's
Wow.
for my 32nd year. A woman with so much love, so much creativity.
I want that.
Wow. Thank you.
Would any one of you share with us something you found that you didn't know before?
I found that I want to hold space for my own. I need to hold space for my own feelings and impulses. Yeah, nothing that might be possible. I hadn't thought of that before.
From what I saw, you did that. From what I witnessed.
I would immediately think that was selfish if I'd thought of that before, but no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for bringing that peace.
I have the picture that, yes, when every woman is in her being, or so to research her being, the world would be with so many colorful points worldwide. So what this picture is inside of me, and like, okay, they are jumping one point, maybe they are flying one point, on another state there are many points together. And the second picture what comes up was, if every woman with herself and with her being, and there's nothing that she has to do or she has to be like this and that, there is such relaxing station, and like worldwide the women are holding each other energetically to empower herself and the other women to go out. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I discovered at the end of sharing was I imagined being this bubble, and I really see it as like a droplet of water in which this is my space holding and what I care for, and that the person is in the droplet creating magic for themselves, and that it's like I'm not even there. There's something I feel really glad about seeing someone create magic for themselves, and that's where it comes from, them, and that it's like I get to be witness, and that's what it is. I feel really glad about that. Yeah, I'm glad to have discovered this. Like I get to be such a witness to this person creating magic.
Thank you, Brian. I at the end of my sharing, there was this anger force come through, and I don't think I've experienced this angle of my anger before. Like this no doubting clarity of the anger being the force holding the space, and like creating this container in that to happen. And yeah, it's like unquestionable, like I take a stand for anger, and if you like it or not, and it's like for the spaces to the spaces to the spaces to the spaces to unfold. Like it was such clarity in there. So thank you for holding space for that, Fiona, and thank you for finding the question for me to then to unfold that. I noticed I have this tendency to hold back still somewhere when I talk about anger and rage, and it is really the building block. It is one of the building blocks for holding space. It is what brings me here present, so that everything can get out of the way, so that I can hold the space.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have another question, because like what occurred to me is that you were also all holding space in this exercise. So once you were speaking and once you were holding space, and I wonder whether you noticed anything about holding space as you were holding space for the speaker. Did you find out anything about what works, what doesn't work?
For me, is to holding space a wonderful exercise or researching failed to be with my anger softly, to be clear and to be softly, and to feel the sadness, to feel the fear too. And it's for me to holding space, and that's what I like so much on this art, because for me it's art, it's Kunst. And there's to be with my own anger, to be clear, to be like, okay, where maybe a question or maybe a word what I would like to bring in or not, and to feel with the other person, to feel my own sadness, to get touched from that what she says, or to feel fear. And every time the anger is there. And so for me, it's such a softly felt to be with my own anger. Low, low intensity, maybe a little bit more, but not so much. Not like screaming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As I was holding space, I was noticing how the energy from Christine was traveling to me, and that in your words there was energy. I mean, I logically get that 90% of what is said is energy, but I was really feeling it at that time, being the vacuum space. And I would feel when there was like a peak, and then a lull, and then a peak, and I was feeling it really like ripple in my chest. And I don't know if this is what works or not, but I'm glad to be noticing that this is what was traveling to me. And I was really with you, feeling the energy, even though I wasn't saying anything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Briar. It's a similar practice for me right now to, well, it seems like just to come that when I was with Fiona, that I stopped listening to the words so much that are coming to me. So really this distinction that I used to hear in possibility management for a long time, that 90% is energy of what we say and 10% is words, is slowly trickling in, that I sit there and like really like letting myself open up my senses to, and it doesn't seem to be like my 5 bodies only, like I'm not really sure where it goes, but there is this like letting it in and then making space for the impulse or the question, should there be one coming, come the other way. It's really this like dance of like receiving and then also giving if necessary, but maybe not. Maybe the information just comes, and it's creating more space for it to come. Like how much more can I let in so that the other can unfold more.
Thank you.
Anything from you, Fiona?
I'm wondering, when you talk about the anger, where do you use anger in space holding? How does that work?
Do you mean me or as a group?
Anybody.
Okay. For me, the first what comes up is to be present. To be with my...
Christina, skip the for me, do over, just go. This is how it is. Go.
For me, it's anger like to be present. To be present energetically, and to listen, and to be with my sword of clarity, to be im Dienst.
In service.
In service. So, and to hold space, to hold a space that the other person can go where she would like to go. I am just there. That's what comes from me. Thank you.
Thank you. My invitation, Christina, just want to say that my invitation comes from acknowledging that you are speaking for the space. And when you say for me, you're making the space smaller. Yeah. And so if you delete that and you trust and just you speaking for the space next, then it can actually really take up the space that it deserves. So that's an experiment to do.
Yeah, thank you. And I feel fear, so that maybe other people could say, oh, it's wrong what she says. So I make it small. So thank you for this. Yes.
I have another piece, which is that when a space is held with a certain level of anger, it creates a really strong container that I feel held in, which means I feel like I can go further in and deeper in. When a space is lacking anger, then the container feels wobbly and I feel scared. I notice when the space is held for me like that, I have more fear present. Because I'm like, can I go or can't I go? And that's where the anger really helps.
I want to experiment. Thank you. Let's experiment. Everybody drop their anger to 0. 0 anger in the space. We're dropping it. 0 anger. Notice the difference it makes energetically. And you can even just connect to your sadness. Only the sadness.
For me, it's, yeah, so my entrance in my own swamp is open so much more. It's not to feel the other person, to feel what she says. It's like, and I'm so sad because old stories. So, and I'm not there anymore.
Yeah, and I notice, Fiona, you haven't dropped your anger fully. Do you notice?
No, I don't notice.
You're still sitting upright. You're still like I have a sense you still have like 10% anger on a 5.
Okay, because I haven't been very aware of my anger, so okay.
Mm-hmm. And do you notice a difference in the space?
I do. I can see it and feel it.
What do you notice?
It's kind of got a bit mushy.
Mushy.
What's mushy?
Don't you get it? Don't you get it? It's mushy. It's shapeless. There's no shape. It's mushy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I've had enough of this experiment, and we can still harvest, but I'm going to bring the anger back on. Invite you to do the same, to center, ground, bubble, and you use your anger for that. And I'm using it also to hold space for the energetic space, and I notice Annika does. And to really hold space, for the purpose of this space, so that energetically also the purpose can come through. And if you have noticed anything else, the space is still open to share what you've noticed. What happens when there's anger and when there's no anger? How does it serve to space hold, and how does it serve other purposes when there's no anger? Or what is a different quality in the space?
I'm celebrating how clear my noticing is of my focus and my like attentiveness. When I went to 0% anger, my eyes were going blurry. I just wanted to kind of sleep and relax my head. And then now that I have anger, the blurriness is gone and everything feels sharp, like clear. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you.
And I want to bring, the like there's this point, where you hold space with your anger, and it's a certain percentage of anger, conscious anger, and then there's a tipping point when the unconscious anger can come with it. Yeah. And this is then the controlling energy that comes in, yeah, or the forceful, or I want something, like I still have a sense in my body I'm in this 50% anger holding space, but actually I want to kill you, or I want to know something, or I need to get you somewhere, or this. So that's the flip side of it when it becomes unconscious, holding space with unconscious anger at that high percentage. And there is also a way of so Julia and I are probably around 40-50% holding space with our anger at the moment. And so we brought some of the pieces in what it's for. And one other piece is also to keep our gremlin on the lead and the voices and the emotions that might come up. So there's this ongoing practice of like the voice that comes that might say, oh, this is stupid what you're saying, or what is Julia up to, giving my center away to her, pulling it back. Do I need to go to the toilet? Do I say this? Is this the impulse to go? Oh, I'm scared and angry at the same time, mixing emotions. They're all this background noise to keep that in check. And this is, for example, the voice blaster that you started using, Fiona. Yeah, this is one of the tools that are then active in my space holding, in your space holding at the same time. So some of my percentage of my anger goes to the voice blaster. And again, that comes with practice. Like that's like this, you in the space, and in the space you might have these words come, or these triggers come in, and then you might have to break apart with the voice, and having people on your team to go through that and to raise your anger, and to, so this is also what the space is for, to go through that, to practice that yeah, okay, and now you're not holding the space because the triggers come in, and how do you walk yourself out of that?
So Fiona, for you, I would recommend that you take into the week, you really research your anger in terms of what does it feel like on the new map? How do you use it already on the new map? The new map of anger. Especially because you said you want to hold space for yourself. You will need your anger, and you need your anger to hold space for yourself, to know where your space even stops and starts. Or stops mainly, your bubble of space. That's how you hold space for yourself. And then with your anger, it becomes safe for more of your sadness and your fear and your joy to be there. So all of these new maps of anger, so that you get them in yourself, just like we did the experiment now, to experiment. What happens if I don't use any anger here? And how much do I need to use to actually get out of bed? Even that experiment.
I have a piece which I'm not complete in. Yeah, it's like using this, what you were saying, Annika, about using conscious anger to not let the voices come in. And I'm like, yes, okay, I did that in the weekend, for instance. But I also don't have the distinction between using conscious anger to stop the voices coming in, or using my anger to numb me. Like it's almost like there was a fine line. And what I discovered was actually I was numbing. And I fell apart afterwards as such. And yeah, if you have a hint on this about,
what do you mean by you fell apart afterwards?
As in, I realized I had been very, like, had lots of triggers as such, and that I'd been numbing, and then when I stepped out of the space, I felt. And what comes to me is, how can I use my conscious anger to stop the voices, but also allow the other information to still come through. Like, okay, I'm feeling an emotion right now. It's like I had used my conscious anger and my anger to stop all of it to come through. Yeah.
What comes to me when you share that is to go on what's alive is like this really precise research in taking your loupe. I don't have the word right now.
Magnifying glass.
Your magnifying glass, to go really close and go, okay, so who's actually saying no to the voices? If you use your conscious anger to say no, you can probably do that with anger and also sadness. Yeah, it's not necessarily just the anger that says no, but also the connection with it. It's like, no, thank you. Yeah. Whereas if it's this beating up energy, it should be different. No, like, fuck off, I don't want you. Then you're already in a survival strategy with it, and it's more likely then to numb you afterwards. So it's like watching how the pattern plays out inside of you, really.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I have something else to add. Especially when you've done a few anger rage clubs and some anger practice, I found it's really easy to rush with the anger over the fear. So my sense is that it would really suit you to start doing some conscious fear practices, Brian, which I know you have started. So when you notice you're going numb, to navigate to the fear, to lower your numbness bar to the fear, because the anger can easily rush over the fear, and then you miss out information about your own feeling, about what's in the space. Yeah.
Yes.
Marcus.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I will leave the space now, and I feel sad because it's such an inspired space, and thank you for holding the space and create the space. And so I will leave now, and I wish you beautiful more moments.
Thank you, Christina. Go
Yeah,
well.
for being
Thank you for
allowed
showing
to.
up.
Bye.
Bye. And I just breathe and notice the change of the space. Do you notice? What do you notice?
I notice that I feel sad. I don't know, I'm not sure about the space, but I'm feeling sad that Christina's left. Yeah. She had a piece for the space that like was part of the puzzle. And I was glad that she was here. So I feel sad.
Thank you.
Notice my fear rising. The space is different. It's like the fear gives me the information. It's different, and it's like,
How
oh,
is it different? How do you notice it's different?
yeah, it's different. It's like, oh, like there's a different constellation. Like there's a knowing in there that this is going to go different now because she's not there.
I don't believe you, Annika. You sense something energetically, and I want to hear what you sense energetically. You sense that the space is different. It's not in your mind.
Yeah.
What is it? What do you notice?
Well, I think it's a wobble. It's like a shaking. It's like, whoa, like where's the piece? Like where's the you know, it's like we were traveling like a wave and suddenly the wave is broken. And it's like, oh, the wave has to reshape. But how is it going to shape itself now in this new constellation? Yeah, so it sets off a rubble, and I can notice in myself, oh, I can either go into drama about the rubble, or I can go, okay, hold the rubble. Be with the rubble.
Again, I really like at this stage. There's nothing to do with it. It's only about noticing. That's the awareness I want in the space. It's about noticing. Fiona, you notice also something. What did you notice?
It's to do with the number it's gone from 5 to 4, and it's something to do with the shape. That it's too square now somehow. But I like the uneven. I like the uneven was somehow more challenging or more something energetically. A square to me is too square.
So notice what you notice also. So Fiona, you notice mainly with your eyes, and then the symmetry of on the screen, maybe, from what I hear.
Yeah, no, because the symmetry on the screen is not square because I'm down the bottom and you three are up the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the number, so it's visual. It seems visual somehow. You're noticing seems visual. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm sure you notice also other things, but that's like the first layer. It's visual. First layer for Briar's feeling, so in the emotional body. First layer for you, Annika, was sort of also in the emotional body?
In the energetic body.
In the energetic body. Okay.
And cool. You, Julia?
I noticed energetically, it was like like a big being just left the space, and then I could sense energetically it's like a energetically.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated to notice that. Okay. And there's no problem with that. I'm more interested in the awareness of, and there are so many layers of consciousness we can develop in noticing, and to go deeper into the noticing, because the noticing has information for the space. And we will upskill in the noticing, so you can notice with more consciousness. It's not about when people leave only, it's more about what is in the space. You know, the space holding is a lot of energetics. And so learning to use the energetic body together with the other bodies to notice, and to notice what you notice, and to notice what you notice with, so that all of that is information for your space holding.
And all of that is information for your space in general. Like, so the more you find in yourself the qualities of the different it makes of what you're noticing, what's happening, the more it'll inform your context and your clarity of setting your space at the beginning, or even before your space starts. Like, it makes a difference if you close the door on time, and you will find out why. And it makes a difference if you say one person can come an hour later, and it makes a difference if you let people know about that or not. Or it makes a difference if someone just decides to go because they cannot handle the space anymore, versus you setting a different context maybe that says, well, will you stay in the space no matter what, so that we can be with you, yet to preempt that happening. But there's all these different pieces to that you can set context right from the start, so that the integrity of the space is what's the word, continuous, or like keeps going, keeps being in the space, and that it's like, and in that then you can unfold, like what comes through you can unfold with more clarity and with more like, and that what wants to come through is easier to come through, because you don't have to shift and change with sudden ruptures in the space that you could have actually avoided right from the start. And I'm not saying things don't happen. Well, I don't actually know what I'm saying about that, because everything happens for a reason, and there's a lot that you can do energetically.
No, not for a reason. That would be giving our centers to the reason. And we're already in a different space. You notice? We're in a different space now. Energetically, this is a different space. So we are in it's developing this quality of, you get to choose where you navigate. Any moment you get to choose, and your energetic noticing will support you in that. So that we can even unelegantly just say, okay, stop now, and we're going to go into the next breakout room. Are you with me, Annika, on that?
Yes.
Right. Thank you. So we wanted to look with you also at not just at the non-material value that excites you, or what you're turned on to hold space for, but also what might be in the way for that to happen yet. And we'll do that in breakout rooms again. And the first round will be for one of us to speak and say, what is blocking me? What are the blockages that I notice? So as a speaker, I notice this is in the way. I get really scared, or I have these sentences, or whatever. Or I don't know where to start, whatever it is. Like, describe your blockages. And the other listens and can also ask curious questions. And then in the second round, the other will speak by scanning. So already when you're holding space, you can scan this person. And scanning, I feel some fear because we haven't set the context for that. But maybe that's also enough. Just experiment scanning, just like you scanned earlier for what is the space, how did the space change? Scanning the other person for blockages that you notice in them, in her, that she might not have mentioned. So first round, speaker speaks about her own blockages. Second round, the listener speaks about the speaker's blockages that she notices that she might not have seen.
And in the scanning, it doesn't really have to make sense, and you also don't have to be right. Like the person can take from what you share, whatever they take from it. Like really let yourself be guided from an unknown place as much as possible. And it could be like, oh, I noticed that you're like, that your forehead is so active while you're talking. It might be in the way. Things like that. Yeah. So, or I get the information that something to do with your family, like, whatever comes through, like just let it flow. It doesn't, you can speak for no reason.
I want to open the breakout rooms.
I just made them. Is that, or did you do something too there?
I did do something too, yes.
Oh, great.
And
I go with mine.
we go with yours, okay. And will you then also hold space for timing?
Yes. So we'll do 5 minutes on our own, and then 3 minutes the other person noticing what you're noticing there, and then we switch around.
Okay.
So Fiona, will you just stay here with Julia, please? And even though there's a room coming up.
Okay.
I'm gonna move with Brian. Hello.
Annika. Okay, I will go first.
Go.
What blocks me?
I'm gonna ask you the question for that to land in your 5 bodies. What are the blockages in your space holding you know of now?
Numbing. So numbing my feelings, and particularly numbing my fear, and not listening to the information my fear has. Yeah, I do like a lid on my fear. Yeah. And I stop breathing. So it's numbing also my physical body. Yeah, and I have this picture of what space holding should be, and the block is that it's like a continuously moving picture of what space holding should be, so I don't get there. Yeah, and I actually assess myself as never there. Like no matter how much progress I make, I'm like, I'm not there.
And
Yeah.
where's there? What is there?
There is like effortlessly holding space without falling apart. Well, no, take that out. That's something else. It's effortlessly holding space for like many people, and with lots of feeling, and not feeling emotional fear, like not feeling scared about what's happening. This is the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my block also is like my rigidity. I become rigid and like monotone. So it's like I retract myself into, my arms are close to my side, and I become stiff. And so I don't have so I block myself from being really moving and fluid in a space. Yeah, and this narrative, the story of like what is a space holder, I then don't bring myself. So it's like I pack myself away. Because yes, my attention becomes completely on what am I doing that, yes, that's my attention goes to what am I doing, right or wrong. Yeah. It's like completely turns, yeah, so my block is I end up holding space and I'm focusing on how am I performing. Yeah.
Still have 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, that I don't know. I don't like I block myself from thinking I need to know, that I should know. Yeah. That I should know how, like the next thing to say. Yeah, I feel my block is fearing the unknown, like being in the unknown and speaking from the unknown. And yeah, my fear that I won't have something.
Thank you, Briar. I noticed it feels like a tight jacket or something, like maybe still something like from school that you took on, like this jacket, and then like in there, and then being trapped somehow by the pressure of the tightness of it, and like difficulty to breathe. Like you say yourself, there's something happening with your breathing because it's so tight, like not allowing the unfolding to happen, or the evolution of it naturally to come through. And then I think there is like this sentence of like I gotta have it perfect before I go, and then things can't happen. Like then it never happens because it's like I gotta have it perfect before I go. And I'm scared that you might be still like isolating yourself, or because you're like scaling yourself like as such that then because you're there or wherever you put yourself, you cannot be on a team with another woman to then do it together and go. It's like then so like being in the shame of where you are or something like that. And I noticed you're not giving yourself enough credit for the sadness that comes through you, that would inform such unique, I'm not sure what the word is, but that would inform like a heartfelt space that you can hold space for. And I think there is something like with the straight jacket is also like breaking out of your, it's like this non-linear piece, and it's like this like this awkwardness about doing something that's like out of the box or something like this, like shifting and changing identity, or like, so I think what I've got for you is like this practicing shifting identity, because it seems like so uncomfortable. Thank you. I'm going to write a message for everyone to switch over.
Thank you, Annika. Yeah, I feel really touched by everything that you scanned.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some water briefly. Will you let me know when we're at 7:15 so I can just speak into the space?
Yes.
I'm going to write the message now and then I can just send it.
Great.
Okay. My blockages. I give my center away to in this case Julia. It's like this moment when there's a thought come, oh wow, this is like my gremlin has this like, oh wow, this is great what she said. You can't say you don't bring that or you don't see that. This is so cool what she just did. Like I celebrate it, but also then I compare in that. So I'm still in this, like one of my blockages is still giving my center away to people with higher matrix. And then actually what happens is then I get trapped in my emotional fear with it, and then I don't have access to my fear to let my information come, whatever that is, in the space. Yeah, and there's also like I think when something comes and I notice there's feedback, it's like celebrating longer than 10 seconds. I think like I can get like stay there with my gremlin, like, that worked. And then it's like, oh, it worked. And I stay in it worked, and I lose the grip of the space to, okay, but there's the next piece now. It's like that was 10-second celebration. I'm starting to celebrate, which also in the past wasn't possible. But then like there's this other piece of my gremlin then going into this, I'm the special one here story. There is a blockage around mimetic speaking, and I don't exactly know what that is, but it's like I'm resisting the training or the clarity that it brings. I'm resisting to practice that. So there's a story in me actually with my gremlin. It's like I don't have to do training anymore, or like I've done so much training, and it's not like I don't have to do training anymore, but it's like, oh, not that. And then I'm missing out on refining the elegance and the quality of what I can bring and how I can bring it into the space. There's also like I think there's still moments of jumping to what I know. It's like I'm noticing that, yeah, sometimes I fill the space with something I know or I've said before. I don't have a particular story about it, but I can feel the quality change in myself and in the space when it comes from really the unknown, or the impulse comes and then it unfolds. And then another piece is the speed in which, and this is, I think, with all the pieces that are brought, like any of those pieces speed me up. Yeah, so it's going back to an old piece that's always been my thing, to slow down when I'm holding space. And so it's like looking at all the different nuances of these other things that are still impacting my speed. Yeah, it's really it's like, oh, far out, leaning into fear again. Here I am again in this. And I was talking to someone about this, like, I think I was with Julia actually, that like fear is an uncomfortable feeling somehow. It's not, and when I'm really like, in times it's not, but like anger is like, yeah, anger, and like sadness is like heartbreaking, but it's like, yeah, it's sadness. And then somehow fear feels in times uncomfortable. It's like this unbearable sensation. And so still moving in myself on the new map of fear and being okay to be with it. Like I don't have to have it go away.
Thank you, Annika. It's 7:15.
Thank you. Okay, I'm checking the time myself now. Cool.
Okay. I have this, that there is something in like there's like I'm noticing like a package deal, like you bring a package as like the one block is like this package deal that happens where you have so like several gold nuggets in one, and the block being that it stops each piece of gold in which you have and deliver to really shine. Like there's like a piece where it's like, yeah, the stacking of the gold pieces and it equals like just one gold piece, rather than actually there's 3 shining gold pieces in here that you are delivering, and that each gold piece speaks to different bodies and the people in which you're speaking to. It's like they have different purpose, and maybe there's a block is wanting to put them together. And yeah, and that there is, yeah, and which with that there's it skips the quality of it. No, it means that your like the mimetic speaking, the part that really lands in all bodies, it lands only just, whereas it would land like really land with each gold piece, because there is I feel that in you, like there's that you have this quality to speak with feeling, and the feeling touches me, and it's, yeah, so there's the block is to want to not the not allowing the feeling to like drop and ripple into the water. Yeah, like the block is to not let the ripple happen first. I really feel that ripple, because it comes in your words. The ripple in my heart that comes in your words. Yeah, and another block that's coming is having every piece. Is that one block is I senses to that they want to have every piece, rather than some pieces and leaving them unopen or unended or something like that. And that there's value in that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have another. I want to share that it's the block, a block, or like I want speaking from your heart. There's something about speaking from your heart is when the ripples happens. Yeah, and I've experienced that with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annika.
Touches me too. Do more research. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go back to the main room because I haven't
Okay.
anything. So yeah, if you can just go back to the main room. Yeah.
I will.
Thank you for your gold.
Yeah, thank you for the gold.
Yeah, I want to celebrate in that, this idea that I remember you said, Julia, we haven't really set context, and then we go in and the scanning happens and it happens. So just like, don't underestimate the power of your presence and what you notice in a space, and the service that you can bring to anyone wherever you are right now.
Put in different words, remember the power that you have to scan and to notice and to gift your noticing to the space.
Yeah, I want to share that I felt like, wow, blown away by Annika's like scanning of me. That Annika, you were saying things as though I thought I had already said them. Like I thought had said them and you were saying them back to me. That's how clear the scanning of me was. Yeah, I feel glad about experiencing this.
Thank you. Anything else to share that you noticed or that you noticed about the other noticing?
Any blockages you noticed while you're scanning?
I noticed a blockage in or not, I didn't notice. I was really touched. Fiona put her, with her noticing, pierced right to a soft spot in my being of noticing. One of my blockages is fear of judge. Like it's like I'm expecting others to judge me. I feel sad about that. It's like I'm preparing myself to be judged. And I will take that to an HP or I don't know. I will look at it. I don't know what is underneath there. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. I have a curiosity how it went for you, Fiona. Did you share?
Well, I felt a little bit that I was able to hold space, which somehow is kind of a bit of a revelation or something.
Yeah, I'm feeling something.
Yeah. When you're talking about the anger for holding space, I know I do that in other places, like out in the waka or at work, I can do that. And so something about that little recognition of how that works in this space. Yeah. So I'm just so grateful that we can experiment, because that space to experiment is so incredibly valuable. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for being the space holder that you are, Fiona. And I have fear that I'm jumping, and I'm also knowing that the space is coming to an end. And there, what I heard on Chloe say in another space before is like, your spaces, they need the legends to be told even before the spaces have started. It's almost like the legends have already happened, and I encourage you to tell those legends if you feel drawn to do that from what you experienced. I'm scared to say that this has value, and it does. I've witnessed it in all of you and in myself. Like, this is also value for myself. And yeah. And that also, I get the information that I want to share this video, and I want to ask whether anyone has got resistance to that the video goes out on the possibility management page if the team agrees. Thank you. I will ask Christina as well. That's okay for her. I also share, like, my sadness also has this, like, for me, this has always been I think it was like a dream to start holding space for space holders, and I'm touched it's happening. It's like this idea that I would hold space for anyone really, and I mean this is kind of the bigger picture, even that there's women that are not in the possibility management context to unfold their space holder. And so thank you for coming here to value what it is that Julia and I are offering, and for allowing me to keep unfolding in that, so that can happen. Yeah. And it is one extra piece. It is actually like by doing this, like finding my speciality and not just being a Rage Club space holder. It's like having found a piece together with Julia and a speciality to hold space for women to unfold what it is that they got to bring. And it doesn't follow the classic path. It follows the path that comes through us. So in some ways, we're walking what we're talking about. Yeah. Thank you, Julia, for being on my team, and all of you women.
It feels so must be my time to speak before we close. And I noticed a lot of joy. It's my joy is here. Of possibility of collaborating like this as women, to not do it alone, and to do it like to collaborate, and to like I feel a lot of joy about the wisdom that you have brought to this session already. Each one of you, including myself, like this is how it goes. And I'm excited. Yeah. As a part of me is also already in this future excitement of what else is possible. And if I come back here, it's there's also a sadness of this remembering that this, I know in my heart, and I know in my heart that this is possible, and that this is what I want, the collaboration with women, where women bring their piece, and where the colors come together individually, so that this rainbow can shine. Thank you for showing up. It always takes showing up, each one of us.
Thank you for feeling. Thank you for being you.
Thank you both for taking a stand for this to happen.
Yes.
Have a good night and transformative dream.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Right.